Alright, so in this video, I will be beating the Enchanted Forest dungeon in Dungeon Quest using Aquatic Temple gear. Now, this took some trial and error. I have made a claim in some videos. If you know me, I try to solo dungeons straight off the bat. And honestly, this dungeon was on the easier side of the 4 dungeons that were after boss raids. As you saw in my first video of Enchanted Forest, I didn't take very much attempts. Like, I did try to solo it, and I almost beat it, but I gave up, so I did a duo with my friend. So there's that. Now I'll be showing off a mage and a warrior version, mainly because people requested me to do a warrior version as well, because not everyone is a mage, I know. But I do think mage is preferable because of the skills. So in Aquatic Temple, I was mostly a mage, so I did much better with my mage runs than my warrior runs because I had to actually gain experience using the warrior spells because I have never used them in Aquatic Temple. So as far as I know, warrior has a disadvantage to their skills, and I'll show you why later. But without further ado, let's get right into our runs. Now, as of recording this, I'm actually on the Nightmare difficulty because I am trying to grind for better stuff at the moment. But what I have for my mage set, I have a purple trident mage set. My helmet is 1.81 million with 27.4 million HP. My armor is 1.83 million with 27.3 million HP. So from what I've heard and seen, my helmet is kind of average, while my armor is on higher side, and both of their HP is just trash. I have seen 30 million Triton armors, or at least Tritons with 30 million HP. So this is trash. My legendary is pretty good. It's at 17.4 million spell power. And yes, this is almost a god pod, I think. It's about 100,000 away. But who cares? It's still very high for legendary, and I actually had to trade for this, believe it or not. I did have a warrior legendary, and the one I have right now is 17.3, so that's pretty good. And I did have a warrior legendary that's about 10,000 more than this, so I had to trade for this one. So if it was not for that trade, I would be rocking around 17.1 million, I think. I forgot the pod, but for skill points, we will be using all our spell power, but for our warrior, I will add some stamina to at least survive one hit on insane. Because you need to have around 75 to 85 million to always survive one hit from minions. So that's my loadout for Mage, and let's get right into our run. Okay, so there's my mage run for Enchanted Forest. Now, I did have some failed attempts, I'm not gonna lie, but I actually cut them out for whatever reason. I don't remember why I did. But now, with that out of the way, let's get right into our warrior set. Okay, for my warrior set, I'm running a 1.837 million Triton warrior helmet and a 1.831 Triton warrior armor. Now, compared to my mage set, this armor set is better, I would consider, because my helmet is better by like 20k and my armor is worse by like 6k. But that doesn't really make a huge difference, not gonna lie. The HP is higher, but it's still not that great. So for my legendary, it is worse than my mage legendary as I showed before. It's about 100k less, maybe slightly less, but yeah, it's still decent. And the spell I'll be using is Ice Barrage. Now, I am not using Ice Crash because Ice Barrage actually has a circular hitbox that's similar to Aquatic Smite, though it is not as big. For my skill points, I'm using 10 stamina as well as 159 physical power. So this will give me 83.8 million HP. And this is enough HP that I'll generally be able to survive one shot from the minions. Now, it is important that I do survive at 1 HP if I'm not as experienced with this class. And Warrior has a disadvantage to its spells like I explained before, and here's why. Yes, you saw that correctly. Warrior has quite a bit less range than Aquatic Smite. Now, I was able to damage the dummy using my Sea King's Great Staff because I only deal like a few billion or so, and that's enough to damage the dummy. But Aquatic Smite has considerably more range than Ice Barrage and Ice Crash. Though from my damage testing and spell testing, I do have more range with Ice Barrage. So that will be my go-to spell for this dungeon, and I think you can beat this with Ice Crash as well, but it will be much harder due to the less range, and the hitbox is also not that good. So, with those stats out of the way, let's get right into our warrior run. So I did my analysis on the warrior version because that's the one where I really needed to take some time to learn. So with Ice Barrage, I used my inherent focus at the start as soon as the barrier was removed, and then I had to move closer than usual to at least get all of the minions in that section. Now, what I do here is normally other people would just kill this whole group and then move on to the second. But I play it differently. If I do not kill them with two cycles of spells, then I connect all of them and then I try to kill them all at the same time. This will save me a little bit of time, and heck, it is even slightly easier to dodge because I know my way around this dungeon and I know all what all the minions do. So there's the first section for you. And I did die a few sections here because of the mushroom battle mages and mushroom wizards. And this is why I wanted my extra HP. There's a chance for me taking only one hit instead of two or more. Because the battle mages, the way their orbs work is while they're traveling, it damages you indefinitely while you're inside it. It's much similar to the energy orb from Lord Varrosh in Orbital Outpost, where it consistently damages you at a high rate. So it's not as bad here because it's much smaller, but yeah, there's that. This moment, I was actually lucky that I killed all of them instantly with my fourth cycle, because with my damage range, I deal around 80 to 90 trillion with my Ice Barrage, and with rough calculations, you need to deal a consistently 85 trillion to kill them in 4 cycles on Insane. So I got really lucky here that I killed them all with my fourth cycle, but there is a chance that they can survive with a few trillion HP. If that happens, I check their HP to see if it's any more than 2 trillion. If it's any more than that, then I'll just kill them with another cycle, otherwise I'll generally melee them to death. If I'm a mage, then I always have to take that extra cycle, and because my mage set, I was much easier, or I had a much easier time dodging because of the range. I was able to four-shot them always because I was able to take that extra skill points with me. So there's that. So if you don't know how this boss works already, it throws two types of RNG The first one being it pops out a bunch of crystals from the ground, and they have a pretty big radius. And also, it has another RNG where it spawns a safe zone in one of three locations. And I got kind of lucky that it spawned it on the right side because that's where I'm always going when I enter this boss. And I got lucky that it didn't put a crystal around that area. But as you just saw, before the safe zone retracted, I saw a crystal behind me, two of them in fact. So I had to move top left, and I thought I was gonna die from this. Now I got lucky, and I was just out of range. But if I went to top right or just continued going right, I would be trapped or killed. And you do not want to be trapped at all, even though it can get you trapped, and it's unavoidable. So I kind of had a stroke of luck with this boss. Now here's what is considered kind of a bad luck. While I was going to the boulder that I know spawns here, it put three crystals around that area, so I was forced to move left, and because of my good reaction time, I was able to survive. So normally it does put three boulders shoots that you can grab and just block the boss to survive its one tap. And yes, the boulders are always in the same locations, but you kind of gotta be lucky that the crystals do not spawn on them and completely encapsulate them. And even if they do, you can just wait for the 6 pulses before they'll go back down again. So yeah, I got lucky here that I did not get hit. This was another stroke of bad luck. Same with this one, but as you see, I escaped from both of them, mostly because of my naturally good reaction times. If you do not have good reaction times, preferably play in a group who knows actually how to fight the boss, so that way you can beat the boss without really worrying about HP, because you can probably take around 2 hits maximum if you're using Triton sets in a big group. Just make sure that you all don't die from one tap attacks. So, yeah, there's that. I just needed to show how close this was to actually killing me. I didn't expect the orb to be right there, and also I was trying to go circle around back, but then the mushroom wizards attacked, and so I was forced to move back. And I was really lucky that orb didn't hit me, and the poison mushroom mage actually did hit me, and that didn't kill me instantly. And I did end up killing one of the mushroom mages, and also the rest survived around 1 tappable HP. But as you saw later, I actually got killed by a mushroom mage or a wizard instead. Now I wasn't expecting it again that to attack like that, so that was just bad for me. And I did recover from this, but the battle mage and a poison mage did survive, so I had to melee them to death, which wasted a little bit more time. But no matter, I still pulled through and I still had enough time, so I decided to continue to run. This stage was interesting because it's basically the second boss arena, but the first phase there's a bunch of minions, and then it puts the second boss. Now, my general rule about this is I go left every single time, and then I connect the first two groups around that area. After I kill them, then I move on to the next two, then do the second boss. Now, the way I take everyone else does it, I haven't seen anyone else do this solo, really, actually. But anyways, what they do is they kill one group at a time and then they move on to the next. Now, this does work because you get so much time, but it is kind of a little bit time consuming. And if you do die a lot, then you won't get through the match if you connect two of them at a time. Now, if I do kill them with 2 cycles, I will kill one group at a time because otherwise it's kind of pointless. But yeah, that's basically how I tackled this section. And I did die a few times on this stage, but we don't need to know about that. Alright, the infamous second boss. Now, I had a lot of lucky moments here. I only died once or twice on this boss, but mostly because that's because my RNG is good. Now, at first, the laser pointed directly on me, so I went right. And I was lucky that it went left, because in all my nightmare runs, they always went right. Now it is random. It's not on a pattern like I thought before, but it is random. So how this works is it puts four lines in kind of cross pattern, and then it goes one direction, either clockwise or counterclockwise. So after that, it puts a bunch of circles around the ring four times, and they all actually spin and around, if you get what I mean. So they kind of start in one area and fill up a circle, and then they keep doing that for four times. And if you get hit by one of the circles, you get stunned for around 3 seconds or so. And while you're in there, you can still use your abilities, but you cannot move. So that's what makes this boss so difficult. And much like the second boss in Volcanic Chambers, if it spawns directly on top of you, if you have your inner and you're already moving, that's the only way you can avoid it. Otherwise, you might as well take the hit and or possibly die. So after this, it does spawn three ancient spirits from now and then, and they have 76 trillion on Insane and 146 trillion on Nightmare. Now, because I dealt so much damage, I was able to one-shot each of the spirits, but you got to kill them whenever you get the chance, because if you leave too much on there, you will find it pretty hard to dodge. And the tree itself just fires three beams at you, so it's really no big deal. So that's this boss. Now this messed me up a little bit because in case you were noticing in my actual completion run, I was moving right to try to at least be able to kill the ancient spirits because they're all kind of grouped up and I kind of wanted to get them all with one spell because it is kind of wasteful to kill them one at a time. And every time you're killing minions on bosses, you always need to hit the boss as well as killing the minions because otherwise you're just wasting time. So I got unlucky here that the laser spawned near the area and it was going counterclock or it was going clockwise, I think. And so I was forced to move left and then I started moving right a little bit more, but then it spawned a few spirits, so I wasn't really sure where to go. So I tried to go to the area with the most spirits so I can kill them all, and it ended up working well, I guess. Now, if this went counterclockwise, that would have actually killed me because I wasn't sure where to go, and if I kept going left, I would have died from the laser, and if I just tried to go right, I would have died from the ancient spirits. So this was kind of a stroke of luck, and I was close to killing the boss, so I was still trying to keep my reactions up because I still wanted to get those ancient spirits to at least make it easier to dodge. And if I go to the middle of the three or the four spirits, I would be able to kill maybe two or three of them, but that would be a good sign for me. So yeah, there was a lot of lucky moments in this boss, but I also had a good reaction time, so I was able to avoid some of the circles around me. But yeah, this boss is mostly RNG, and if you don't have good RNG, good luck on this boss. At first, I was confused of what actually killed me. I wasn't sure if the wizards hit me, if the battle mages hit me, and for sure the spearmen didn't hit me. So I was confused at this bit. After looking back, it was a battle mage who hit me. Its orb was a little bit laggy, so it was further back than it looked like. So I tried to dodge and I failed. So that cost me some time. And I still had enough time, as you saw in my victory run, I still had enough time to beat the boss, because you need at least 2 minutes to defeat the boss. And if you die once or twice on the main boss, you might as well give up if you only had 2 minutes on there. So, yeah, good thing this run, or this death, didn't really severely affect my run in any way. So, final boss is actually quite difficult. So when you enter the arena, it will put three cross hashes on you, and unlike the Lava King, they actually have a 1 second pulse. And while you're doing this, it also puts a bunch of lines that was similar to the second boss in Aquatic Temple, except it's kind of easier to dodge on its own. So when those lines come up, they're actually always in the same spot, so they will never rotate around after the first one is initiated. So it'll put one that has horizontal hitbox, then a vertical hitbox that goes from left to right, then it'll curve a little bit, and then that's it. And when it does that attack again, they're always in the same spots as they were on the first time. So that's kind of a good thing, but that also gets me in bad spots. So what also happened is it puts 5 circles on top of a random player that all kind of curve a little bit, and then it'll put 3 circles on top of 3 random players, and then it'll put a ring on top. If anyone touches that ring, it explodes the arena, and everyone will take twice as much damage per explosion. And there is no cooldown to that explosion, so that ends up what is considered a nuking, which kills everybody except for the Guardians. So that's what kind of makes this boss pretty difficult. I have heard from many people that this boss is one of the easiest, but I disagree for the most part. So So there was a lot of decision making I had to make during this boss fight. I decided to move backwards on this bit because if I moved forward, I would have been trapped, and the cross slash would have been harder to avoid. But what maybe could have been a good thing while that was happening is the left fire things, whatever it's called, they would have disappeared after the first cross slash, so I maybe would have moved right if I was in the back. But then again, I was trying to survive because I didn't really have a good plan for this boss, so that led to um some improvisation to this boss, which isn't really the best thing because for Aquatic Temple especially, I knew what I had to do for each boss whenever a certain move popped up, so that gave me a big advantage. But this one, I actually didn't know what to do because in Nightmare runs, I've killed him so quickly that I never really planned out what to do. So that's this boss, I guess. So if you didn't catch that last bit, he actually trapped me in that area because at the first time, after a little bit, the lines kind of delay from the attacks, so they'll appear slightly later than normal. So this led me getting trapped, and if I moved back, I might have died from one of those lines or from the big circle that appears. If you didn't know this, the main boss deals slightly more damage than the mini bosses, so in this case, the main boss deals around 85 to 105 million damage, so you definitely need an HP boost for that one. But I didn't. I have 83 million HP, which is enough to survive one hit from minions and sometimes mini bosses, but definitely never from the main boss, so that really screwed me over. In case you didn't catch what was going on, I was kind of spastically moving around because I wasn't sure what to do. So I was just trying to dodge everything, going in blind, like I wasn't sure what I was doing. Sure enough, that actually got me killed from one of the lines. I kind of got trapped. I couldn't really see that well, and that's a common thing with this boss. But luckily, I only had 20 seconds left, and within those 20 seconds, I lost 10. But good thing that was enough because, as you see, I had a 1 second clutch. Now, as soon as I respawned, I used my inner and I faced the boss immediately. And then at the perfect range, I used my ice barrage. And for some luck, I actually killed him. Now, I did get fairly decent loot. I got a purple fungal warrior helmet and a gray fungal guardian helmet. And the fungal warrior helmet was okay. It's about 2.3 million physical power fully upgraded, and its HP was about 39 million. I think that's average for the purple range, but I know it can go up to 2.4 million. Now, I have actually been grinding Insane in my own time because I was looking for dual revitalize because I didn't actually get that many, and also I gave them away to a friend. So, yeah, and Revitalize is the first purple heal spell since Universal Heal, so that makes it much harder to get. Because I've been also grinding Insane, so I've also gotten some purple armors and some purple weapons, which are actually sold. So, rip me for that, but there's my analysis, and now let's go to my deaths. Alright, so that's my video on Enchanted Forest Insane using aquatic dental gear. If you like this video, please drop a like and subscribe to my channel for future gaming videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.